great record. God bless you guys. Listen to Tony. I'm right.
As you breathe, someone is taking their last breath. As you eat, someone's going to bed with an empty stomach. Someone's longing for that leftover food you just trashed. Someone wishes they had clean water to drink, a roof over their head, and a place to call home. As you ignore that call from your mom or dad, someone wishes their parents were still alive. They'd give just anything to have one moment with them. Some people don't even know whom their birth parents are and have been on a quest searching for them their entire lives. As you complain about your kids and ignore your parental duties, as you compare your children to someone else's, as you abuse your own children both physically and verbally just because of something they did, as you think about going to that clinic to abort that unborn child, I want you to know that someone wishes they could have one. They'd give anything to hear the cry of their own child. And they've been spending thousands of dollars trying to conceive, but to no avail. I know life is hard, and no one is immune from problems. No matter how much you've got, you will always lack something. You will always have something to complain about, because human wants are unlimited, but our needs are basic. You don't really need much to be happy. You are unhappy not because of what you don't have, you are unhappy because you are ungrateful for what you've got. And you're in constant pursuit for something new. We always want the latest phone, the latest car, the latest clothes and bags. And all for what? To look good and feel important? To get a few compliments from people? Can't you look good with the clothes you've got? There are new clothes on the market each and every day. There's a new iPhone and a new Samsung literally every year. So are you gonna keep spending loads of cash whenever there is something new on the market? These material things will never fulfill you. They can never fill the void and emptiness inside of you. I see people with a lot of clothes and bags as if they've got a mini boutique in their homes. But they always complain they have nothing to wear and always want to go on a shopping spree. You wonder why they are always broke? They live way above their means just to create a facade. Their bank accounts are always in the red and they are always borrowing from people just to keep up appearances. Stop comparing yourself to others. This life is not a race. Be content with what you have, and God will definitely bless you with more. I'd like you to spend a little time to count your blessings. Name them one by one. And you'll realize you've got more than you think. As long as you breathe, as long as your heart beat, you gotta be grateful. Because what you've got now is something you prayed about in the past, and someone is praying for the same thing right now. So when you go on your knees to pray, I want you to stop going with a to-do list for God, because God is not your personal assistant, neither is He your servant. He's not a means to an end, but He's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. So thank God for everything. Thank Him for the food on your table. Thank Him for the air you breathe. Thank Him for each step you take. Thank Him for the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Thank Him when things are going good and when things are bad. Be thankful no matter what, and you will never lack. If you like this,
Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. You don't look like you're in your normal spot. What crazy adventure are you on today?
Well, it's Thanksgiving time, and this is like my time to run around like a turkey, and giving out food, helping people, and bringing this to this person and this to this person. So we actually have a fundraising event tonight in Long Island at the Rosalind Hotel, my father's place, and there's a band, the Susan Aquila Band, is going to be performing, and they're doing a canned food drive, and they're donating all the proceeds back to some nonprofit agencies. So this is the time to be thankful, right?
It is, and I'm so grateful for you and to be able to be here hanging out with you every Wednesday on the chapters wrap, and then also on cable on Fridays. We get to interview such wonderful people and have such great conversations. I look forward to these every single week to give these to all of our followers.
Well, thank you for all you do. And what are you thankful for, Stephanie?
Well, being, we got, again, like this time of year, this is the first anniversary of my husband almost dying. So I think that we're looking back with such gratitude for our health, for the ability to be with our friends, to be able to have our children. My husband this time last year couldn't eat at this time, so he's really excited for that. Well, we do a vegan turkey dinner, but for a turkey dinner. And to be able to just enjoy and have fun and have this experience. So, I'm eternally grateful to get to do what I do and live this life that I get to live. What about you?
I am thankful for my family, my children, and health, good health. And I think that when you have good health, you're able to pay it forward. Without the health part of it, like you just mentioned with your husband, you're piecing things together and you have that big void, and it kind of stops everything. Because I know when you went through that with Dave, it took its toll on you, but you were solid as a rock for your family, and you didn't miss a beat. And I learned from that experience, really. I mean, we could all learn, because the other day I lost a kid I used to coach. He passed away at 21 years old.
Wow.
And we're going to talk about it later in the show, but we have to start off a little differently today. We have Tim Sutton, who's an active law enforcement. He has a show, A New Perspective, on our network here, and we have a big event coming up. So I'm going to bring Tim onto the screen a little bit. Tim, welcome to Click on Healthy Relationships to the Curb. You're very healthy. Stephanie's very healthy. And I'm kind of healthy, but welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, a little bit briefly, tell everybody what you do and your show and why you do it.
Well, like you said, I'm active law enforcement. I've been a police officer for 32 years and done a lot of work with special populations, people with disabilities, also dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia. And I've traveled around the country teaching autism, Alzheimer's, and understanding the behaviors. And what we're doing just outside of Richmond, Virginia on the 5th of December, some of you guys are coming down, but we're having a huge party for people with disabilities. We've got Sensory Santa is coming. Santa, if you didn't know, has been trained up on autism and understands how to interact with some of the kids face to face. We've got crafts, we've got food. We're trying to get as many people as we can get. Parents or adults, we're asking for a donation of $10. Children, we're just asking for a canned good. So we're going to have a food drive. They're going to be presents for the kids. I get to do a show with you guys and hopefully interview Santa Claus if he's not too busy, and find out whether I'm on the naughty or nice list. So that still has yet to be determined. But we're looking forward to having, so many people, and just it's a different type of thing for kids with sensory issues, and it'll be toned down as opposed to many of the events that are kind of loud, bright lights and things. So it'll be more suitable for the kids with autism and other disabilities.
Well, Tim, you do amazing work. I think you're on break, or you're kind of taking a few minutes out to share a little bit. So hopefully everything is in place in Virginia right now.
Yeah, everything's good right now. I've got somebody else listening to the county to make sure everything's going well, so I can talk to y'all. So, wanted to take advantage of the opportunity.
All right.
Tim, can I just ask, what got you interested and so passionate about this? Because I love your enthusiasm to help people, especially the special needs kids, the kids with, sensory issues. So thank you for doing all this work.
Of course. Yeah, it started back in 2003. I started working for my agency. We started a tracking program to deal with individuals who wandered off or children who eloped and got away from their caregivers. And a lot of that goes on in the news. You see these big search and rescue missions. Well, we joined in with I had Gene Saunders, the CEO of Project Lifesaver. Our agency went with Project Lifesaver. I'd encourage you to check that out. But we go out and meet these families who are dealing with cognitive issues, and they're scared that their loved one's going to wander away. And we put a watch-sized transmitter on their wrist or their ankle so that when and if they go missing, the caregiver calls us and we can actually go out and track them and bring them home safely. So as I started to meet the families, I started to realize that the wandering and elopement were issues, but there were other issues that were pretty much calling for a law enforcement or public safety response. And officers needed to understand the disabilities, so when they got there, they could do their job more effectively. And I think it's a breath of fresh air for the caregivers and the parents, just to realize somebody out there with a gun and a badge protecting the community kind of understands what they're dealing with day to day.
Yeah, I love that. It's nice to know that you're on their team.
Oh yeah, some of your special needs are so secluded and they feel like they're trying to do it on their own. So last night we had Fades and Blades. It's a barbershop that's actually trained up in autism and sensory issues. And the purpose of a new perspective is to get out there and highlight some people with autism disabilities that are doing great things, but also the other support networks in the community.
Well, Tim, thank you so very much for sharing us. Real quick, tell everybody one more time what's going on December 5th.
December 5th here in Richmond, Virginia, we're going to have a huge party for individuals with disabilities. We will feed you. We will have gifts for the kids. We'll have crafts. Sensory Santa Claus is going to be there to visit with the kids. And again, like I said before, hopefully we'll be doing a live show, a new perspective, and I'll get to interview Santa Claus on the show.
And officer, I was going 55. I checked my speedometer. It was 55. Just saying.
Sounds guilty. Sounds guilty, Steve.
You may need, I know it sounds kind of guilty. Maybe you need to have that speedometer calibrated or something.
Okay. All right. So next time I'll get it fixed. Thanks for giving me that warning.
Not a problem.
Tim, happy Thanksgiving. You're a great guy, great work, and I can't wait to see you on December 5th. Thank you so much, sir.
Looking forward to it. Y'all take care. Have a good show.
Take care. Have a good night. I mean, there's somebody really loyal and passionate. I mean, he's working on his break. I mean, he's calling us.
Well, and I love that he's doing that, especially because, the police officers are getting such a bad rap in the news, and it's nice to just see, someone who saw that there was an issue, wanted to help, and is now really active in their community, looking to be that liaison and realize, we're all in this together. We're all in the same team. So it's great to be able to see that and share that with others.
That's right. Now we have a special guest here today, Sarah Kelsey, and she was backstage earlier. We were having some technical problems and I couldn't hear her audio. And I thought it was on her end. It actually turned to be on my end. And my assistant said, "Did you put on your volume on your computer?" And I said, "No." And there it was. And she was rolling laughing, and she didn't even know me, and she was laughing at me. But I think she does great work, and I can't wait to get it. You want to segue her right now?
Yeah, it was really cool when I got to talk to Sarah and I was hearing her story. I was like, this is so cool, because when you talk about following your dreams and following your passions, when you feel that pull that nobody else really understands, Sarah is definitely that person. So she's doing some great work. I don't want to take away all the cool things that she's doing, but yeah, there she is riding horses. I mean, this is an all-around woman who does it all. So I can't wait for everybody to come and hear, this professional and all the beautiful designs that she makes, and how this all started as something to make herself look cute to do. I think it was barrel racing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm forgetting the story, Sarah, but it's just so cool. It started out with something that she did for her. Other people liked it, and it was like, it was a calling that she didn't even know she had until all these people were begging for her work. So I love these kinds of stories. And you're going to hear, of course, we're talking about unhealthy relationships. That's related to this story as well. So I'm excited for Sarah to come on.
And her website is flashing on the bottom of the screen. Let's further ado, let's get Sarah Kelsey on the show. And Sarah, welcome to Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm well. Cold, but it's cold here in Ohio. So
You're in Ohio.
Are you dealing with snow?
I wish. It's just cold and dreary.
Oh.
I don't mind cold if it's snowing, but
Agreed.
It's depressing.
Same. Same.
And Sarah, your volume sounds really good. Just want to let you know.
I can hear you too. So
That's this weird thing. You got to know Steve really quickly, Sarah, because this is, Steve's a nice guy, but he's not really, technically, savvy.
Hey, let's kick this healthy relationship. Let's keep it the way it is.
words hurt, Stephanie. So be nice.
All right. Well, Sarah is a go-getter. She has achieved a lot in her life, and she's pretty. In our conversation, she's pretty feisty, and she's determined to make a difference in this world. What do you think, Sarah? Are you feisty and a go-getter?
That's probably a good PC phrase for that. Usually I get things like unhealthily obsessed and selfishly driven. So yeah, I like the way you phrase it a little better.
It's the passion that you have behind it, because you wouldn't be in the position that you're in now. And as Stephanie told our viewers a little bit, it kind of happened accidentally. It wasn't something where you kind of set your mind to and you ran with it. Tell our viewers a little bit, how did it unfold?
So the Cliff Notes version, once upon a time I had a practice marriage, and through that I received a $500 horse, which is very cheap for the quality and the caliber of horse that I compete on. And the practice husband was like, there's a big horse show in Columbus that I wanted to compete at. It's the Quarter Horse Congress. It's iconic. It's been around for 50 years at least. It's a huge deal. And I said, I want to compete there. And he was always like, you're not ready. Your horse isn't ready. All of this crap, right? And shame on me for believing it for a few years. So in early 2014, that marriage crashed and burned. And I pawned my wedding ring to pay my entry fees at that particular horse show, where we ended up being 17th out of 121 competitors in the entire country. So, and some from Canada. So that was really cool. And while I was down there, Dale Evans, who was Roy Rogers' wife from, like 5 lifetimes ago, she has this really cool vintage, flashy Western style rhinestones and fringe and all of the obnoxiousness. And so my mom had made me a shirt that was red and had black fringe and crystals and all this fun stuff on it. And so I was in my hotel, and I had a pair of earrings, like from Walmart, like plain earrings. And I had some extra leftover crystals that I had glued on my shirt, to make it even more obnoxious. And I thought, I didn't get enough attention as a child. I mean, that's not true, but that's what I thought. So I thought, I'm going to glue these crystals onto these earrings and, make big flashy earrings. Well, I'd never been a queen of any kind, like pageants or anything like that. And I didn't realize that heavy earrings were a real thing. Like, that's not a good time. Your earlobes stretch and tear and bleed and all of that. Well, I made these earrings and they were super lightweight. So the next day I'm competing, and these girls are like, how are you riding? And they were probably twice as big as these. I mean, they were like giant. And they're actually in our storefront. We have a storefront and design studio in Northwest Ohio. And that shirt is on a mannequin. And then with the shirt are the actual earrings. And if you take earrings and just glue crystals to them, it looks like you took earrings and just glued crystals to them. It's terrible. Like, it's a terrible idea. But I didn't know, right? So, and at the time I was a translator. I spoke Mandarin, Chinese. And so at the show, these girls were like, hey, can I buy these off of you? And I said, no, but I'll make you a pair. So that was October of 2014. And it just kind of snowballed. So by February of 2015, he was my boyfriend at the time. He's my husband now. He was like, you need to make a decision. And because I had started like a Facebook and an Instagram, because we didn't have any money for advertising or anything like that. And the orders were coming in. And he said, you need to either stop or you need to put your career on hold and do this. And I'm like, well, you're on drugs, because who leaves a 401k and benefits? And I'm the first one in my family to go to college and graduate. And I had this really unique job. I had moved back to Northwestern Ohio. My dad had gotten sick. So I went from Columbus, where you can, do whatever you want for a living, to Mayberry, right? Hallmark town. And had finally, landed an actual job to use my degree. And now this guy wants me to, toss it away to glue rhinestones on things. This is real dumb. My mom's not going to be impressed. And he said, I think you can do it. So, and my husband's a unicorn. Like, he's a plant. Like, I'm pretty sure my parents are paying him because he's just that perfect. And so I said, all right, I had $85 saved up from some rodeo I'd won, and I bought my vendor's license and my first package of wholesale Swarovski crystal and started like a proper Facebook and a proper Instagram. And it's just exploded from there. That was February of 2015. As of right now, we have work in 19 countries on all kinds of people, everybody from pageant queens, rodeo queens, Nashville performers, corporate attorneys, just all kinds of women from all walks of life. I mean, we get messages all the time, you know, hey, I'm saving up for my first pair, or I want to get, you know, my daughter's getting married and I want to get her a pair. Like these earrings, this brand is becoming a rite of passage almost. And it's really kind of odd, flattering, but odd because it truly was an accident. And we bought, last August, we bought an entire, with all 3 floors, it's 18,000 square feet, historic building. So we have our showroom, and then every piece, every crystal of every piece is set here in Wapakoneta, Ohio. And then with the building came some apartments that we turned into Airbnbs for our clients to fly in, stay with us, and then come right downstairs and design their jewelry for a wedding or pageant, or because we live in a real life Mayberry, there's all kinds of fun shopping and all of that. So the girls will come, even with this, like a group of girlfriends, design jewelry just for fun. And those consultations are tailored to them. They get, you know, this custom charcuterie board. We have a full bar, coffee, whatever it is. And it's just like a really, basically a party with bling. And we design, whether it's jewelry, stemware, cufflinks and tie bars for men, clothing, shoes. We've done vehicle, like we did a Peterbilt logo just a couple months ago for the Louisville Truck Show. And you can power wash it. Like they don't come off. Like you have to sign basically a contract that says, I'm for sure this is what I want to do, because on certain pieces, you have to chisel them off, and it just doesn't work.
Well, Sarah,
Didn't you wait? Because I'm remembering part of your story is that you were watching like Miss America pageant, and didn't one of the ladies walk? Like, did I make up that story, or is that real?
Mm-mm. No. So to touch on the relationship part, my practice has been, we're from a rural area, you know, and horse shows on a competitive level, the girls wear these like Liberace jackets. I mean, just like mine is 8 or 9 pounds. Like that's nothing compared to, that was at some, I don't know, I think some county fair or something. I don't remember where that was, but just jackets, I mean, they weigh 10, 12 pounds because they're covered in these crystals, and they're very expensive. So the local 4-H moms would bring me shirts from like Tractor Supply, right? And I would add crystals to them because that's fine for the county fair, right? And in fact, I think our first business cards actually said bling on a budget. So while I was doing that, my practice husband was like, why are you like, this is such a waste of time. What are you doing screwing around with crystals? Like, this is dumb, all of that fun stuff. Like just almost like just mocking, right? Like you could be doing other things with your life, and here you are bedazzling. And I'm like, I like it. It keeps me from poisoning you in your sleep. So it's not true, but it's not true. So he exits, you know, and all of this. And my husband, Roger, we were watching the Miss America pageant. And I watched the very first time I saw my earrings on national stage, I was like, pause the TV, like, stop. And I like walked up to it, and I stood there and like pointed to the girl, right? And I'm like, okay, take my picture, right? And so my husband. And then the pettiness in me, and I have a lot of it, makes a vague book post, and it said something. This was 2016 maybe. And it said something to the effect of, if anybody ever tells you that your idea is stupid, you tell them to go pound sand, because I just watched my earrings walk across national television. And it was like the best, like, you know, like, and I know it's not healthy to
I'm
use
tearing
that.
up because I could understand why you would.
It happens like so now we've got some big deal stuff, right? And I've gotten better about it. Like I'm not quite so vocally snotty to that situation. But like there's some guy on a yacht because he invented the pool noodle. Okay. So like stupid ideas usually aren't.
Right.
And from my standpoint, if you would have told me 5 years ago, okay, Sarah, this is going to be a thing, and you're going to travel all over the country, all over the world, and just from bedazzling, like you're going to make 6 figures a year and do the things and be able to buy your Mercedes. And I'm building from gluing crystals on things. I would have been like, again, drugs are bad, right? Like this doesn't make any sense. Like, and I think if I would have tried to have forced it, like if I would have tried to like, let's make a go of this, it was all organic. And like we have 11.4 thousand Instagram followers and 19.8-ish thousand Facebook followers. It's all organic. Like we've never spent any money in advertising because we never had it to spend. So it's all been word of mouth. So when people are like, oh, this company has no loans and it has no debt. And that's cool and not at the same time. Like when you're like, hey, can I have some money for a building? They're like, no, I can't. But the universe does some cool things and makes it work. So, I mean, like in this day and age, you can make a living doing literally everything you want. But had it not been for that spite and again, the petty side of me, I have this quote saved on my phone and I really need to delete it, but I just won't. It says, I'm going to be so successful that one of my exes tries to say we dated and nobody believes them. Like, it's so crap. Like, I'm like, this is not healthy. Come on, Sarah. Nope.
Well, this is Kick on Healthy Relationships with the Curb. That's Stephanie McPhail. I'm Steve Vaccaro. That's our special guest, Sarah Kelsey. And she's telling us this little journey of hers that got her to this point. Do you think, I like the term practice husband, obviously nobody uses that a lot. Do you think your relationship with the practice husband made you the person you are now?
Absolutely.
So tell us
and it
why.
made me a better wife. So to my current husband. So I've always had a big personality, right? Always a lot of flashy, shiny things, like it's just always been me. And so when I moved back to Northwest Ohio after my dad got sick, I started dating my practice husband, who was about 6 years younger than me, but we were into horses together. And, visually from the outside, it was like the perfect family and all like, oh, okay. So then I show up in the mix and I don't think I was what his mother had in mind. And I didn't understand why. Like I did the things. I went to high school and I graduated and I went to college and I graduated.
She just a comment. She said hi to you, Sarah. No,
did she?
He's got jokes. Good
thing you're in New York.
Okay.
So, I've actually haven't gotten the opportunity to speak with her in about 6 years. So I would love that. Anyway, we should pay-per-view that. That would be great.
Yeah,
so, and I remember saying to my practice husband once, I looked him dead in the face and said, why did you marry me? And he said, to see if I could. Cool. All right. So I go from this like huge personality girl. Like, I mean, it's just, I've been that way since I was little itty bitty and I need to make this clear that he never like knocked me around or anything. It wasn't, that's not what this was at all. He's not that way. He's this way.
Mm-hmm.
He's this way.
Mm-hmm.
So this big girl with, these huge corporate dreams who comes home because her dad, we didn't think he was going to make it. Totally like reshuffle the deck, right? Come home to Mayberry after living in Columbus and loving it. He would do, and I'm sure there's a term for this, but he would be like, why are you shaving your legs? Because I have black hair and I'm not Amish and it's pulling on my jeans. What do you mean, why am I shaving? It's what girls do. And I always do I'm always a makeup girl. He's like, oh, are you doing more makeup for your boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, he prefers this eyeliner instead. Like, what? Like, just everything. Or I love bubble baths. Like, that's my jam. Like, a bubble bath and a glass of wine I don't care what hotel I'm in. I know that's like weird, but that's my jam every night. And if I took longer, and there was no set, if my bath lasts less than 17 minutes, it's okay. There was never a set of rules, right? So you couldn't play the game. He would change it. So
they make the rules, they enforce the rules.
Yeah. So you don't know how to act, right? And so it leaves him in control. And this was all I need to make this was all insecurity. I'm not defending what he did. He didn't know. And seeing the family dynamics on the inside, I'm like, oh, I see why you're the way you are. And fault and responsibility are not the same thing. It wasn't his fault that he was the way he is, but it's his responsibility to fix it, right? And he never took that upon himself. So if I was in a bathtub longer than he deemed appropriate, I was in there talking to my boyfriend. And I remember I looked at him one day and I was like, if I had one, that's where I would be. I wouldn't be here dealing with your madness. Like, and I remember the day I left, it wasn't this huge catastrophic day where it was like, oh, this huge blow up. No, like it was a regular Sunday and we got in a fight over ice cream. And I thought, I am, and we don't have any kids. We don't have children or anything. And I'm just like, you know what? It's in my jam. So I grabbed a duffel bag of clothes, some horse tack that was really special to me, my horse's registration papers, and my poodle. She's 13, and I've never had anything in my life as long as I've had this dog. I loaded up my dog, and like a true country song, dog, horse, papers, duffel bag of clothes, I get in the truck, and I left. And it was like I said, I feel like people are led to believe there's like this huge, like emotional breakthrough, like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. At least for me, I'm just done. I'm just tired, tired of being questioned. And that was 7 years ago. And I'll still look at Roger, my husband now, and I'll say, do you care if I take a bath? Sir, you're 37 years old. Why are you asking to take a bath? I really think that emotional bruises last longer than real ones.
Right.
Like, and it's funny because sometimes I'll catch myself, like, I'll catch the insecurity and then I get mad at myself, like, knock this off. You're better than this, So and my husband and I, we were very financially, we didn't have any money, right? I remember one year we were too proud to ask our parents for money and we didn't refill the propane tank. So like I would make his coffee every morning in the Carhartts. And it was a trap. Like I went from working, translating, and he didn't like that because, who knows what I was doing with, the men at this work. So then I got laid off. So I was a stay-at-home wife for a while. So I would make his lunch every day and take it to work and do the, wife things. And then he was like, I need you to stop bringing me lunch. And I said, why? And he said, well, the guys at work are making fun of me. Okay. So I'm like, do I do lunch wrong? Like just, everything was a trap. So the fact that I went from like questioning everything, thinking I was losing my mind, thinking I was crazy, learning my own boundaries and learning like, okay, here's my level, my threshold of tolerance has made me, I think, a much better wife to Roger because I'm aware of I think everybody has insecurities, right? Trick is not letting them own you. And my practice husband failed that test. Roger is amazing, but I also really try and be cognizant of the fact that men are insecure the same way women are, right? So I go out of my way to send the text, or, if I'm somewhere traveling without him, take the selfie of me wherever I'm supposed to be and send it. Not because Roger asked for it or expected it, or I had to show me where you are. None of that. It's just a cognitive reassurance that, hey, everything's okay. And the bigger the company grows, the more I'm just like, take that.
Wow. So and Stephanie, she's talking about when she motions, Sarah motions like that, the emotional abuse, it's just as powerful as the physical abuse, right, Steph?
Well, and it sounds like gaslighting, and he's projecting his own insecurities on you. I mean, all those things we hear all the time. Let me accuse her of something because of my own fears. I mean, this is all typical stuff. And that's, and I agree. I dealt with some physical abuse, but the mental stuff did come into my now marriage,
Sure.
From my first husband. And it becomes a lot of questioning, like, well, what's normal? What's not normal? And,
Yes.
To over-explain yourself, like you said, or like I had moments where I under-explained myself because it was better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. And I didn't want to deal with him saying no. And my now husband is like, why would I ever say no? Like, same kind of thing. Like, why would I ever say no? That's ridiculous. But when you get used to behaving a certain way, it becomes the norm for you. And you're right. It's really hard to deprogram that.
Yeah, it's been years. I mean, September of 2014 is when I met my current husband. And I just remember thinking, and I have said to him, like, Hot Mess Express, party of one right here. Like, I was convinced that I was just going to be that, crazy single lady that gallivanted around the world and drank too much wine and liked shiny things her whole life. Right. Like, I was not wife material, and I'm children are just not in my and even being a stepmom was not in my wheelhouse, right? So I was convinced that something was wrong with me. I was too much. I wasn't wife material, all of these things, and that was his reality. It was not mine.
Sarah, let me ask you a question, because Stephanie's an educator and I'm an educator too. For the younger people out there, how would you define success? You as a woman, but also as an entrepreneur as well. How would you define that?
Not needing an alarm clock, loving what you do so much every day that there is no snooze button. You don't hate Monday. If Friday is the best day of your week, you're doing something wrong. And that is, like, if I have one frustration in this round of life, it's that people think it's a practice round. There will never be another November 24th, 2021 that we get to do ever again. This is it. This is the one. And people waste it. The lethargy and underappreciation. And I've never had like a terminal. So this isn't coming from a place of questioning my own mortality. That's not it. It's coming from a place of, I don't want to say people are zombies, but they're programmed for comfort, right? And that's no way to live, and to wake up every day without an alarm because I can't wait to get back to my office or to my build studio, or, if I'm at the Ocala, we have a store in Ocala. If I'm at the Ocala store, or I'm getting ready to speak at a rodeo queen pageant in Guthrie, Oklahoma, like loving that, like, this is the best. Where's my camera? There it is. Like this water is the best water, my cup of coffee. I can't wait for my cup of coffee in the morning. Like, you have to romanticize everything about your life or it's going to suck. So, if I would have said, oh, success for me is $100,000 a year, I would have quit years ago. Like stuff like that. I think quantifying success imposes limits on it. If that, because it's going to be, if you let it, it's going to be bigger than you imagine. And
Right.
the trick is getting out of your own way. Because again, if you would have said to me 5 years ago, time traveler comes to me and says, Sarah, this is, I'm going to call the police. You need to, no. And then I think, okay, that was 7 years ago. What's the next 7? So to people define, oh, I want to be a millionaire. No, because if I'm a millionaire and I hate what I do every day of my life and I don't get to hang out with my husband or pet my dog or enjoy my team, if I got employees that I hate, but I'm a millionaire, am I really winning? No. So that's my definition of success, just not hating your life. So many people do. And I'm like, that is great. That is great.
I agree. And you can hear your passion in how you talk about it. And I think that's because that's for me too, is that I look forward to Mondays. Like I get so excited. Like I like the weekends because I can spend, I've got young kids and whatever. Like I like that. But I really like Mondays because I'm going to go back to doing what I love to do. And I look forward to the week. All the changing lives. And same thing, like if you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be helping women overcome unhealthy relationships, I'd be like, yeah, right. I am not even really comfortable around a lot of women. Number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, like I've never had a healthy relationship in my life. How am I going to how is that going to be
great? The whole reason you're perfect for this job.
Exactly. And you too, like, you like fancy, shiny things and whatever, but like, you just wanted to look cute and look at what happened.
Yeah. Whoops.
So Stephanie, do you like Wednesdays at all?
I love Wednesdays. I love getting to hang out with you. And really like, even being able to just meeting Sarah for the first time, hearing her passion, because I get so excited hearing other people's passion. So hearing her passion, getting to talk to other people and listening to like what really makes them tick. It's a beautiful story to hear where people start and then see where they are now and then be able to like in the future see them wherever they go and to be like, well, for a brief moment, we're here together, all hanging out together. And now like whatever happens in your
Texas, Steph?
We live in Texas, yeah.
Yeah. And Stephen, you're in New York, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like 5 years ago, I had never been to either of those places. And we have a place in Pilot Point, Texas, and I really like New York. I don't know about it. It's been about 2 years since I've been there, so I'm not sure if the current things have changed it. But like to be like, oh yeah, I've been there. Like I had never really been out of Ohio, and because of my husband and then my company, it's amazing the places that we've gone.
And Sarah, talk about your company specifically. How can people get to know a little bit more, contact you, and what actually occurs in what you do and the items that you have?
The best word to describe what we do is that we are professional bedazzlers, and I hate that word. It's awful, but it's the best word to describe what we do. So our bread and butter are earrings. They're super lightweight. They still are. Every crystal was placed by hand here in Ohio. My youngest employee is 56. So I've surrounded myself with grownups for a reason. And we have a great time here. But so it started with the earrings, and then it morphed into some other jewelry, necklaces and bracelets and all of that. And then it exploded into shoes and vehicles and clothing and guns. And, we've crystallized a couple helmets. So like for riding, but then also like Harley Davidson, like motorcycle helmets. We'll cover those completely in crystal. We did one of those for a client in upstate New York to match her Harley. Like we drove to the Harley Davidson dealership to get an exact, not even a paint swatch, but like I need to see this particular color on a motorcycle, a real one, to match the stone color, completely cover the helmet, send it back. 2 weeks later, we get a phone call, and she's like, hey, I got pulled over by the state police. And I said, Andrea, I don't know what the laws are in New York. And she said, no. She said, they pulled me over to give me like a high five, like safety first, because they could see her from like, and I thought, oh gosh, did you get a ticket for like distracting drivers? And she's like, no, everything was good. So
the sun was like shining off of her, like off of her.
And I thought, oh God, she blinded somebody and they're in the ditch because of me. That's not what happened. But I did. I thought, oh my gosh. So we crystallize. I mean, like that's my phone case.
Nice.
So anything. And then what we can also do, we do a lot of weddings and we do a lot of pageants. So girls will fly into usually Columbus, Ohio. It's hour and a half, give or take, to Wapakoneta, stay with us in one of our Airbnbs, and then bring either their wedding gown or their pageant gown. And So we got a call from Kleinfeld's last year, I'm going to say, and I didn't know who they were because I don't watch TV. And evidently they're a pretty big deal. So we have some mutual. I thought they were an insurance agency, and I was like, I don't do telemarketers, and they're like, no. And, sorry, didn't know, but now I do. So the girls will come in with their gowns, their girlfriends, and then we customize their consultation. They get to choose a charcuterie board, and we can do the gluten-free and the vegan and all of that type of stuff, or sweets. Since we don't have gowns, we can have food. We don't have to worry about fingerprints. And then, like I said earlier, we go through and we can actually take a photo of like if this was Roger's signature, so we can take a photo of that and create an ear, like a monogrammed earring in handwriting. I mean, we've figured all of our bases are done here in Ohio. So the only part of our company that isn't made stateside are the crystals, because there aren't any stateside crystal makers. So, we keep everything here. Almost everything's in Ohio. Everything's built here, but we really just create custom crystal artwork. We've done 2 KitchenAid mixers that were completely covered in crystal, fully functional. So when you get all of our stonework's guaranteed. So if you ever lose a crystal for whatever reason, we repair them for free. The 2 KitchenAid mixers, one lives in PA and the other one is at the World Equestrian Center, which is the only independently owned 5-star hotel in the country in Ocala, Florida. So they use that in their kitchen and they do videos and stuff. But they were making meringue a couple weeks ago with it. And so when you get mashed potatoes on it, you just spray it with Windex and scrub it off, and it's good to go. But Facebook and Instagram, Facebook message, you can email me, my phone, like the website, basically anywhere you would go to find any other contact information, you'll find us.
So it's Thanksgiving time. What are you thankful for?
Sanity.
The moments of the year.
No. I'm thankful for the fact that I don't have to be cognizantly thankful for anything. Like, my mom's like, what do you do for Christmas? Nothing. Like, there's not a single thing that I don't have that I want. I have, my family's healthy, my relationships are healthy, my marriage is healthy, my company is healthy, I got a good dog. I was really worried when COVID hit because we don't make heart catheters. Like, nobody's going to die if they don't have earrings, right? So I looked at my team and I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I promise I will keep you employed as long as I can, like to the brink of me being homeless. I would take a bullet for my team and this company. And the fact that I haven't had to worry outside of the normal stuff, that thankful for not having to be I know you mentioned that your husband was ill last year this time, and I haven't had to endure that, which sounds kind of like a curse and a blessing. But so for that, there's nothing. I'm not like, oh, I'm thankful for X because Y happened. I haven't had any. So I'm thankful to just be content, because so many people aren't, whether it's their own fault or things that they're going through. Just really grateful and thankful for contentment, frankly. So,
Wow.
But,
I mean, Sarah, you're doing great things, and you came from kind of it's almost like a rags to riches kind of story, because the way you're portraying it, you weren't intended to do what you're doing now, and you're looking on the other side, and it's very inspiring to a lot of people watching this, because during the pandemic, it's really negatively affected people and stagnated life.
sure.
And people are afraid to make that little twist in their life,
Do
to
it.
take that leap of faith, and you're saying do it.
Do it. Like, jump. What? 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to hit something and recalibrate, right? And I screw up all the time. Ask my team. But that, nothing's, it's never finished because it's never done. If tomorrow the trends change and everybody hates rhinestones, what do? There is nothing that you learn in college that you cannot learn for free on the internet.
Right.
How bad do you want it? Are you going to sit and watch Days of Our Lives and be pissed off, upset? Sorry. I have Tourette's. That's not true either. Anyways, no, you're either going to sit and wallow in your self-loathing and allow yourself to wilt and be a miserable cow, or you're going to say, you know what? I don't have a job, which means I have 8 hours where I would normally be in an office to devote to learning things that I want to learn about. National Geographic pays somebody to be an expert on moths. I don't know. Learn about, you like moths? Cool. Learn all you can about them. Somebody will pay you for your knowledge. Like you can audit classes from Harvard for free. Do you get a degree? No. But I can tell you from experience that degree from the Ohio State University that you work your face off for doesn't do much for you when it's in a box that your housekeeper in a box in the basement. Like my housekeeper does it for a while. I'm like, get off the wall. You know what I mean? And I've never taken a day. This is important. I've never taken a day of business or accounting or marketing or any type of that. My college degree for 7 years focused around the Mandarin culture and language. That is it. So when people are like, oh, I just shared a meme the other day on Facebook, and it says, you know, oh, you have to go to business school and do all of these things and take out a big loan to start a business. No, you get on the Google and you look it up, you know, and like when we got into where we had to get an accountant, right? Because things were way past what my mom and I could handle. They're expensive, right? So you say, hey, I need some accountant help stuff. And I noticed that your daughter's in high school, so I would love to trade out, you know, maybe embellishing her prom dress. Or, you know what, like the barter system's still a thing, right? And it's amazing what you can do with just a little bit of effort, you know? So the whole, this company started with $85. Don't tell me that you need some, I don't know what I would do if somebody gave me 10 grand. Probably, I don't even know what. I wouldn't know what to do with that because I feel like people get a lump sum of money to start a business. And again, had this gone the way I thought it would, I don't even know what it would have been. I would have spent all that money on what I thought was going to happen as opposed to letting it grow organically. And it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and that's a key word, and then we're going to have to end, but use the word organic. Organic is somebody gave me that advice a couple of years back too. If things happen organically, it's going to last a lifetime. It's going to be solid. It's going to be firm. It's going to be consistent, and you could depend on it all the time. When it's not organic, you're questioning it every moment, everywhere you go, right?
You have to force it. It doesn't. It's not going to hold, right? And I think people use reason as a safety net because practicality-wise, not a bit of this story makes any damn. None of it. Right. If I'd have been practical, I'd still be in an office.
Well, Sarah, thank you so very much. You have a wonderful agency here, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for solving our audio problems at the beginning of the show.
I didn't know that was your friend there. We were on the phone. He's like, "Can you hear me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can hear you." I sent a picture of, tried to FaceTime with him. Like, here, look at my mute button's off, and I hear this voice from his end go, "Is your sound off?" No, it's on. It's on. And I swear I could have saw a finger go. Push the button.
Well, thank you, Sarah. We'll have to call you back next week every time we have a problem. How's that?
Just put me on the phone. We'll be good.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Kelsey, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Wow.
Right?
Awesome person. You know what I love about Sarah is that started from nothing, didn't expect anything, didn't plan it out, and it happened organically.
Yep. Just allowing, and that's what when I talk to clients, it's following the pull. I feel it from my chest, doing what I do every day. It's not something that I chose to do. It's something that chose me. And now I just have to follow where it leads me. Whenever we try to control and force, that's when it seems to not work out. But when I allow it to just, as they say in yoga, go with the flow, then I go in the right direction.
So this Thanksgiving, my dear, it's going to be a much better one for you this year, right? You kind of kind of chill out, nothing going on, just the family and kids, right?
Oh, we're excited. I've gone so many times to the store, put in so many orders to get different types of foods and good drinks, and we're really excited to be able to hang out with our friends and enjoy ourselves, take a day off to just be grateful. So I'm really happy about it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, happy and safe Thanksgiving. And for those people that aren't with loved ones, reach out to them. And it's tough around holiday time with relationships. And we're going to talk more about that as the weeks unfold, because it's not always fun and games around the holiday time for relationships and families. And I think the work that you do is so much, very much needed, more probably during this time.
Yep. Tune in next week. We've got some great guests lined up for the rest of the year. So definitely come and hang out with us again. And, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and give us some likes and some comments so that we know what else we can bring you if there's other suggestions that you have. But we're here to serve, here to support you, and here to remind you that your best life is possible.
Well, Stephanie, have a great holiday and enjoy the family. I'll do the same, and we'll see each other next week.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye-bye.